Hey everyone, welcome to the Discover Virginia podcast. I'm Joseph Trahan, your host for the #1 video podcast in Virginia, where we explore the rich history, vibrant culture, and iconic businesses that make our Commonwealth truly special and worth talking about. So get ready as together we discover Virginia. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Discover Virginia podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Trahan, and today we are joined by the iconic, infamous, and best barber in town, Joel, the barber. Joel, welcome to the podcast.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for carving out some time in your schedule because I understand you're pretty back-to-back on bookings here off of General Booth, cutting hair for young men, older men, and of course, young children as well, and providing some top-tier service, especially for our veterans who are maybe going on deployment or maybe just need a fresh cut in general, right?
Yes, sir. We're there every single day besides Sundays and Mondays, but yeah, technically every day we're there is pretty back-to-back.
Very, very fascinating too. So I appreciate you carving out some time. We'd love to really dive into the conversation today about your personal story moving to Virginia Beach and how hair and creating that business model really worked out for you, and then also how it impacts the community overall. Sound good?
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. So Joel, how did you get started cutting hair, and what interested you in continuing to do that as a full-time career?
Well, I started cutting hair back in high school, like 2001, give or take. And I started cutting hair. My brother, my little cousins, they were my little test dummies, so to say. And I started cutting them, and I liked it. I had the passion for it. I was actually pretty good from the beginning. Some people aren't, but I was pretty good already from the get-go. And what was that?
Yeah, you're good. So it sounds like cutting your hair, just working with your siblings and cousins and things like that. And so what part of that clicked for you, saying, "Hey, I want to continue that into my adult life outside of just cutting as a teen"?
Oh, I mean, originally it was a childhood barber that I used to have. Yeah. And I saw the lifestyle he was living and how well he was living and what he was doing. And it was actually surprising to me that the life he was living with just being a barber. I kind of thought he had other curricular things going on but once he told me, it was like being a barber, you could almost make as much money as a doctor, as a lawyer, it just depends on your clientele and how long you've been in it. So that kind of interests me, and it wasn't as much schooling as other professions as well. So that was another thing that wrapped me up.
Interesting. Yeah, because I almost obviously it's a skill, right? I almost think of like a trade skill, but it's a whole nother class because it's literally the way people present themselves. They need a barber, whether we all admit it or not. It's like, yeah, you need somebody to cut your hair, generally speaking. Can you take us back to those early days cutting hair? Is there maybe a unique story, or perhaps maybe an unfortunate circumstance that occurred that made you learn, like, maybe the hard knock life of what not to do or what to do as a barber?
Well, definitely you try to see that you always want to keep it professional. You always want to be sober as well. I mean, some some places are very professional. Some places it's not the best place to be. They don't run the business correctly. But one time when I was younger, there was a barber who he used to have a little liquor in his drawer, and every once in a while, certain clients he had.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he wouldn't mind taking a shot, 2 or 3 with them, and
he would take shots with his clients.
Yeah, take shots with the clients, and that was just his way of just having fun with them, or interacting a little bit better. But yeah, it didn't go too well. He ended up cutting the guy with a razor, and
oh, wow.
Yeah, that's you just got to keep it professional. You got to be, you can't be doing that while you're working, for sure.
That's crazy. So they were taking shots together, and then what was it, the guy just leaned forward, or just too much liquor to go around?
Yeah,
And just
too much liquor. They was just a little bit too much fooling around, laughing. He had him lean back. He was doing his beard at the time. And also the guy was in a rush. So
Sure.
it's just a concoction for failure.
Oh my gosh. Did the guy ever come back?
He ended up coming back, but
No,
they were
he
good
came
friends.
back?
Yeah, I mean they were good friends, so he knew him for a while, so
Oh
he
my
kind of
gosh.
let it slide, I guess. But
Sure.
yeah, that definitely wouldn't have happened. More than likely, that would have been a lawsuit in many cases.
Yeah, no kidding. Especially when you're
Yeah.
drinking on the job. So that was obviously a great lesson you learned. Don't drink on the job. And I see here you have some equipment that you showcased in the introduction. And then, so what does an average day look like for you? And what are some of the pieces of equipment that you mainly use on the daily to help make sure everyone's haircuts are pristine and professional?
I mean, average day for me, I usually start around 9 o'clock in the morning. It's an average of about like 10 haircuts a day, give or take. But every client is different. There's different, the hair is different courses, different styles. Some people have curly hair, some people have straight hair, some people have the wavy hair. So every clipper is different. Like we got this one, the new Gammas that just came out. Not too many people have them, but it's been very popular in the barber scene lately.
What makes it popular? Is it just pretty like universal use of it, or?
I mean, this is the styling now, and they also have interchangeable faces as well, so you can change the colors. You can customize them quite a bit. So a lot of the clippers sometimes come with like 3 different faces. So, they're pretty customizable nowadays, so you kind of make them your own.
Yeah, very fascinating. Do you mind me asking, like, how much they cost?
That's another thing. They're so expensive nowadays. Most, like, the clipper itself sometimes could be $250, $300. Shoot, even like 400, some of them.
Really? For a pair of clippers?
Yeah, just for a set, and then the trimmers, 150, sometimes 200.
Wow.
Yeah, they definitely getting more money lately.
Intro barber, I'm like, you're all in at like $1,000, $1,500 range for like all the equipment if you were to buy it outright.
Yeah, if you just starting a barber, you're gonna spend well over $1,000 to get a nice set of clippers. I mean, you could always start with just a clipper and just a trimmer.
Yeah.
Just a basic pair of shears and a shaver, and you can kind of get away with that for a little bit. But once you start getting busy and start getting a nice clientele, you're definitely going to up your game up and get multiples of each, because they definitely tend to get hot as well if you're using too much.
I was going to ask you that because these things have engines in them. They're motors. I mean, they're electrical or manual, and they do create a lot of heat. So, that's so fascinating. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So cutting hair early age and then deciding that, hey, that's the kind of career in life I want to pick. Developing that trade led you to an opportunity to move here in the Virginia Beach area. I'd love to unpack that story a little bit for you. What led you to deciding that, hey, you wanted to call Virginia Beach your home and kind of build your business here in this community?
Well, myself and my wife, we've been visiting pretty much our whole lives. That's a little backstory in itself, because I used to come here with my family as a teenager, and later on in life when I met my wife, she just decided one day, you want to take a road trip, and I was like, yeah, we can take a road trip. Where you want to go? And she's like, oh, Virginia Beach. And I was like, oh, get out of here. I was like, what you know about Virginia Beach? So she had been visiting herself since she was young as well. So we've been coming out here for the last 12, 13 years, visiting family. Sometimes we were coming twice a year. So we always had in the back of our mind that there was a possibility that one day we would move here, because my kids love it as well. They always love the beach. We love Ocean Breeze and the amusement parks that are close.
Heck yeah, absolutely.
Busch
It's a good
Gardens
time.
and stuff. So we always thought that possibly we would move here one day. We're just so big with family, so it kind of held us back a little bit because we have a lot of family in Connecticut as well. But inflation was one of the main reasons that we ended up coming down here, really, because
I believe it, yeah.
the home prices were getting pretty ridiculous out there. So that's what we said, was just jump out here and try it out for a year or two and see how we like it, see if it fits us, and go from there.
Very, very cool. So I don't know the business setup. I mean, obviously you're an independent contractor cutting hair, and there are barbershops nearby. where does that connection point happen, and how do you decide? How did you decide that which barbershop you wanted to link up with and begin cutting hair with here in Virginia Beach?
Well, it was a little difficult at first because I'm from a small town. It was kind of city, but we call it a town. So we might have 20, 25 barbershops possibly, maybe. But once I looked here at Google and, all these different sites, I'm like, I stopped counting at 40 because there was just so many,
There's a lot of places to get your hair cut.
Yeah, so then I just started going on Instagram, start checking out pictures and checking out different shops that way. And that's how I came across the shop I'm at now. I actually saw the pictures and it looked great, looked real professional, looked real stylish, a little different than what I'm actually used to and seeing before. So um, I actually hit them up that same day and they happened to have a vacancy, so that was kind of crazy right there that I had an interest in them and they pretty much had an interest in me. Once they, checked out my work and seeing what kind of barber I was, they had an interest in me as well.
Yeah, very cool. So it's such a unique way of how we find jobs, especially in different industries. So for you, it was looking on Instagram and seeing what other people's work were doing because you wanted something similar or maybe to increase your skill and maybe get better at a certain type of haircut and style. Do you primarily cut hair for both genders, or how does that normally work? Do young people, old people? What's your kind of sweet spot for the type of maybe the type of hair I should say, as opposed to the person?
I mean, I'm pretty much comfortable with all walks of life. I mean, I like to consider myself a master barber.
Yeah.
I've cut men, women, and children, older, younger. I've even cut as young as 1 year old.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so some people, they kind of want their babies cut. Some people let their hair grow for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. But in terms of ethnicities, same. I've cut everyone, from black, white, Spanish. It doesn't really matter. Truthfully, I can pretty comfortable with all styles.
So you're well acquainted with the different style of hairs that exist and maybe the different skin needs as opposed to maybe the different type of folks you're cutting hair for.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. So was the dynamic force between cutting different style hair? Was that in Connecticut, or did you begin to kind of experience that more here in the Virginia Beach area with just like different style of cuts and different hair and things?
Well, I kind of been comfortable with it for quite a while now. Even back home, I used to have my own barbershops back home as well. So I've been pretty comfortable cutting all type of styles for a long time now. Moving down here, where my shop is located currently, we are in between the two bases, Ocean and Dam Neck. So a good 80-something% of the clients are coming from the bases.
Mm-hmm.
So they love the mid skin fade. That's one heavy haircut that they ask for all the time.
Yeah.
So that's something that I was used to doing, but not used to doing it as often. But now, being here for a little while now, it's just second nature now.
Very cool. Do the haircuts get shorter the better you get at them, or are they all kind of like the same length of time when it comes to something like the mid skin fade?
It's just like once you figure out the strategy.
Yeah.
Every haircut has a strategy and the skin type, hair type as well. But once you figure out the strategy and you get comfortable with your clients, and if you've seen them more than one time, then yeah, it definitely gets quicker every single time.
Yeah. Very fascinating. Is there like a tall tale sign of like what makes a bad haircut and separates it from like a good haircut? Maybe someone's coming in from a different shop and they want different results. Is there a way for you to tell, or is it just kind of like hair is hair?
I mean, it's kind of multiple things. Truthfully, it could be sometimes the hairline gets pushed back too far. Sometimes the blend is a little too choppy, so it's not blended correctly. The transition from light to dark is not blended correctly. Sometimes even the scissor cuts, you can tell as well if it happened to be some type of comb over or a slick back haircut. You can tell as well how the blend is.
Sure. Is that when they just like keep spraying you with more water? Is that just to cover it up?
I mean, that's more like a prank that's been going on. But yeah, I mean, it depends on some hair, it cuts better wet. Some hair cuts better dry as well, too. So it's kind of like, it's a little bit of trial and error in there, too, as well.
Yeah, yeah. Going back to that professionalism, are you the type of barber to prank your folks, or more so just appreciate those videos from afar?
Yeah, I just like to look at them from afar. I had a thought about doing a couple of them, but it's like just let it rock. And then,
Yeah. I've seen some of them where they'll like, flick their lip or, kind of pretend like they're sneezing and spray the bottle. Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of going on.
Funny to watch, but I'm like, I would never want that done to me.
Yeah, I mean, me truthfully, I don't feel like I have enough time to be setting up cameras and
Yeah.
and doing all the extra stuff. It's already hard enough for me to promote myself on my page to be doing extra videos.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So when you look at like the different techniques that go into a haircut, maybe some verbiage that people should be a little bit more familiar with. I know for me, like when I go into, forgive me, great clips or sports clips, right? Not forgive me sports clips, but forgive me for being generic. They want a number, right? They want a number and the square around it. That's kind of it. Those are my options. Are there any other things that people should be thinking through when they are getting a haircut where they want a little bit more personalized style to think about as they enter into conversation with you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that, depending on where you're from in the country as well, some people call um, a mid fade a temp fade.
Okay.
But like where I'm from, if you're saying a temp fade is more like a taper fade, just in the temple area and in the nape of the neck. So it just kind of depends where they're from. Sometimes when they explain certain things, then you'll be like, okay, you're not from here, or you're from the South, or you're from, but there's mid skin fades, there's a high and tight, there's the low fades, there's a shadow fade that's just light enough so you can still see your hairline edged up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a couple things to explain. That's why we always try to do the consultation, try to get in there early enough before the client gets comfortable and have the conversation with them, break it down so there's no confusion and there's no like oops at the end that, once you cut it off, you can't put it back on,
Oh,
so.
yeah, absolutely. So important, too. And I appreciate you mentioning the consultation part. What type of experience can customers or guests feel when they come to work with you? Obviously, you don't just start cutting hair. You're gonna talk about it. What is that process like for them?
I mean, most of the time I like to work off appointments. We take walk-ins as well, but appointments is always clutch. It's always easier and a better experience for us both because you already know that your time is, you more than likely you're not gonna have to wait. You get right in the chair, but it's usually like a quick 30 seconds, give or take, 30, 45 seconds, depending on if the client really, really knows what he wants already.
Right.
Sometimes he might not know. Sometimes he might have to pull up a picture on my phone or their phone just to get an idea. You can go into Google Images or, whatever like that.
Sure.
And see the different styles and see what fits them properly or not.
That's so interesting. So, and I know this is like for the tattoo sector, especially, they're like, here's a picture, do exactly like that. And they're like, I'm an artist. I have to add my own unique take. Is it that way for you as a barber where someone gives you a picture and you're like, okay, but I want to add my own twist? Or is it more so like, sure, I can do that?
More than likely, most of the time we kind of have to do our own twist because one thing about the online images is that a lot of them are actually Photoshop. A lot of them,
Really?
yeah, a lot of them use certain enhancements to make the haircuts look sharper as well, and then going back to like the type of hair, how coarse it is, or what type of style hair they're looking to get.
Yeah.
It might not fit them exact, but the haircut itself, a mid fade is a mid fade, high and tight is a high and tight, and low fade is a low fade. So the ending outcome's probably not gonna look exactly like you might not look like Brad Pitt at the end, but get you the same style though.
Get you a discount Walmart version of Brad Pitt, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Joel, I really appreciate you sharing that. And obviously, I don't think barbers get enough love, which is one of the reasons why we want to have you on the show. And also, you do great work. All of your work is on Instagram. So before people come and book a consultation or talk to you, they can see the type of work that you're doing, the type of reputation your shop has. Shout out to our Google reviews. We live and die by those as business owners, right? I'd love to talk a little bit more about the community aspect as well, because it's one of the common themes on our show is, just to talk about, it's more than just business, right? It's people, it's individuals' lives, their looks, and also, just what makes Virginia Beach a great place to live and work. Would you mind talking maybe about some of the community events you've recently done, and maybe highlight some of the things you're looking forward to and excited as we head into this new year?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been one that always pride myself in being involved in the community and working with the community. Back home, where we're always used to doing basketball tournaments and toy drives for Christmas. Or if I know other business owners that happen to be doing events, I always like to just, participate and just give, an hour, 2 hours of just free hair, because it doesn't really do nothing to me. Just always helping out the community, be there.
Well, Joel, I really appreciate your conversation here on the show today. I'm looking at the time. You got to get back to bookings, brother. So with that being said, I would love to roll out the virtual red carpet for you. This camera here, please share any final words or messages you want to leave the audience with, and where they can go to learn more about what you got going on.
You can check me out at I Should Be a Barber on Instagram. My old page is Sharpers in Town. That's what I'm known for back home. Always clean, sharp haircuts. Professional, man. You come through, get a nice hot towel shave. Also have the VIP Deluxe if you really want to get really nice for that special occasion, weddings, anything of that nature. And my chair's always open whenever you're trying to come through. I'm there for you.
Love it, Joel. Thanks so much for the conversation. Appreciate it.
You, man.
And thank you to our dedicated listeners for checking us out on another episode of the Discover Virginia podcast. Please, for real, if you got a bad haircut, go to Joel. Or if you're looking to try out a new barber, I want to be respectful of your current barbers, but literally go give Joel a look on Instagram, dude. You're going to love it. All right. I'll see you guys in another episode. Have a great week and continue to go out and discover all that Virginia has to offer.